Papa, Papa, don't leave me. Amara's voice cracked, echoing in the sterile hospital room as the life slowly ebbed from her father's frail body. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor flattened into a continuous, deafening tone. Tears streamed down her face, blurring the image of her once vibrant father now still and pale. This was the final blow, the culmination of months of hardship that had started with the collapse of his business empire. Chief Adekoya, once the most celebrated CEO in Lagos, was gone, leaving behind a mountain of debt and a legacy tarnished by failure. You've just arrived at Positive Perspective Stories, the place where we swap out the heavy news for a little bit of heartfelt hope. In a world full of challenges, we believe every person's journey holds a powerful lesson and a reason to smile. Here, we bring you stories that are guaranteed to warm your heart, lift your spirit, and help you see the world a little more brightly. So, if you're ready for an uplifting dose of inspiration, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to join our family. And today, we start with the powerful story of a young woman who proved that a broken legacy isn't an ending, but a new beginning. Let's dive in. Amara, a bright economics graduate, watched her family's fortune vanish like smoke. The sprawling mansion was repossessed, the luxury cars auctioned, and the once loyal staff dispersed. Her mother, Aya Funk, a strong woman known for her infectious laughter, retreated into a shell of grief and despair. Amara felt the weight of the world on her young shoulders. She was now the de facto head of a broken family, armed with a degree and a burning desire to restore their dignity. But how could she, a novice in the ruthless world of Nigerian business, rise from the ashes of her father's ruin? The once hopeful CEO was now just a painful memory. Driven by a fierce love for her family and the memory of her father's brighter days, Amara decided to fight back. She started small, leveraging her understanding of market trends and her inherent business acumen, a trait she had clearly inherited from her father. She began by trading small goods in the bustling local market, enduring the scorching sun and the haggling crowds. Aya Funk, initially hesitant, slowly began to find solace in helping Amara, her spirit flickering back to life. Amara's honesty and hard work soon earned her a reputation for reliability. She reinvested every small profit, her vision slowly expanding. She noticed the growing demand for locally sourced and well-packaged food products. Remembering her father's earlier success in the agricultural sector before he diversified too rapidly, she decided to revisit those roots, but with a more sustainable and community-focused approach. She started by partnering with local farmers, ensuring fair prices and quality control. Word of Amara's ethical business practices and the quality of her products spread. Slowly, she started securing contracts with local restaurants and retailers. Her small venture grew, and she was able to employ some of the people who had once worked for her father. This brought a sense of quiet satisfaction, a feeling that she was not just rebuilding her own. However, the shadows of the past still lingered. Chief Emeka, a ruthless businessman who had played a significant role in her father's downfall, watched Amara's resurgence with disdain. He saw her growing success as a threat and began to plot her demise, using the same underhanded tactics he had employed against her father. He spread rumors, tried to poach her suppliers, and even attempted to sabotage her deliveries. Life but also piecing together fragments of the community her father had once led. One evening, Amara discovered concrete evidence of Chief Emeka's sabotage. Anger surged through her, the desire for revenge almost consuming her. She could fight fire with fire, use his own methods against him. But then, she remembered her father's tearful confession in his final days, the regret in his eyes as he spoke of the compromises he had made in his pursuit of wealth and power. He had lost not just his business but also his peace of mind and the respect of many. In that moment, Amara made a choice. She would not succumb to the darkness that had engulfed her father. Instead of retaliating with malice, she decided to confront Chief Emeka with the truth, armed with evidence and unwavering resolve. She met him, not with accusations and threats, but with a plea for ethical conduct, reminding him that true success was not built on the ruin of others. Chief Emeka, a man hardened by years of ruthless competition, was taken aback by Amara's approach. Perhaps a flicker of conscience remained within him, or maybe he simply recognized the futility of a protracted battle against someone with such unwavering integrity and growing public support. Slowly, his aggressive tactics subsided. Amara continued to build her business, grounded in ethical principles and a deep commitment to her community. She never forgot the lessons of her father's rise and fall. Her success was not as meteoric as his had been, but it was sustainable, built on a foundation of trust and hard work. Aya Funk's laughter returned, brighter and more genuine than before. The family had lost their fortune, but they had rediscovered something far more valuable, their integrity and their bond. Years later, Amara stood as a respected businesswoman, not just in Lagos but across Nigeria. She had rebuilt her family's legacy, not by chasing fleeting wealth, but by embracing ethical practices and prioritizing people over profit. The memory of the hopeless CEO, her father, no longer brought only pain but also served as a constant reminder of the importance of staying true to one's values, even in the face of adversity. The moral of Amara's story is that true and lasting success is built on integrity and ethical conduct, for though wealth may be lost, a good name is an enduring inheritance.